I teach yoga to kids. I teach yoga to students. I have been an elementary teacher in the past in a couple different elementary schools. And I've worked a lot with parents, and I've noticed over the last decade, particularly toward the end of the decade, so much stress and so much anxiety that is occurring around academics, around our children, around whether or not they're safe, around whether or not we should be allowing to do this or that thing. There's all of this stress that's happening at the adult level, certainly from the parent community, but also in the school community as well. And I'm seeing it in our kids, right? I mean, I'm seeing it in these little bodies who aren't really programmed or built to be able to handle all of the stress that maybe they are inheriting it from their parents, or they're absorbing it from the energy of their teachers and from the adults that are around them. I'm seeing a lot of symptoms of stress that are manifesting themselves in these tiny little bodies in a way that tells me that it's really important that we have yoga for kids, yoga and meditation and mindfulness practices for our kids, so that we can teach this next generation how to deal with the stresses and the emotions and the anxieties that they're coming up with. So I'm finding it really important to share that with parents and with teachers and the adults that are around the kids as well, so that they can help to model mindfulness, these meditation practices, and to help these kids to control their emotions and to work with their emotions, not to just keep them bottled up inside because it's the right thing to do and it's least disruptive, but how do we actively take a look at what's present for you in the body. I think it's really important for these kids and also for the adults that are surrounding them. It's really important to empower the teachers and the parents to model these mindfulness practices for their kids so that they can help them through it. And it's also to help themselves, right? To help the adults help themselves. I think definitely more nature time is helpful for kids, more time out in nature. Less screen time, of course, right? I think that there's a balance, because I think that screens, iPhones, computers, whatever the future technology is going to be, that's a reality. And so our kids do have to know how to have that, but also helping them to manage it, right? And providing them time to interact with the real world and move their bodies. Because at the end of the day, I really think that any kind of energy that we get that's stored up inside of our body has to go somewhere, right? And if we aren't moving our bodies because we're sitting on our cell phones for 7 hours a day, then the energy goes up in the mind, and then we just, our energy the thoughts just start spinning and spinning and spinning, and that's where, this anxiety comes from, and, we have these neurotic thoughts that just spin circles inside of our minds. So certainly, limiting screen time, interacting with nature, getting out into the world but not the cement world, right? Like trees and grass and water, just being around the elements, I think is really an important way to kind of decompress from it all. Just helping us to learn how to deal with those emotions, both for this adult generation and for the adult generations that are to come. I think it's really important.